The United Nations Conference on Climate Change, Paris 2015, commenced in Paris, France, with the participation of several heads of state today.
President Maithripala Sirisena was also among the top world leaders to attend the summit.
More than 150 world leaders have converged to launch the two-week talks known as COP21. Among the many world leaders to attend the summit were Prince Charles, US President Barack Obama, British Prime Minister David Cameron, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Chinese President Xi Jinping. The United Nations-sponsored climate conference was officially declared open by Peruvian Environment Minister Manuel Pulgo Verdaes as France's Laurent Fabius was officially elected president of the COP21.
Mr. Laurent Fabius, elected president of the 21st session of the Conference of the Paris.
Essentially, what is at stake with this climate conference is peace. And yet, hope has emerged during preparations for COP21. The international community in September provided itself with a complete agenda through the Sustainable Development Goals, which were adopted during the United Nations General Assembly. And Secretary General Ban Ki-moon, I congratulate you on that. 190 states, that is almost all the planet's countries, have put forward action plans to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and to adapt to climate change. And all actors of the global society, local governments, business, investors, citizens, all have come on board for the climate.
The national climate plans submitted by more than 180 countries as of today cover close to 100% of global emissions. This is a very good start, but we need to go much faster, much further, if we are to limit the global temperature rise below 2 degrees Celsius. The science has made it plainly clear. Even a 2 degrees Celsius rise will have serious consequences for food and water security, economic stability, and international peace and security. That is why we need a universal, meaningful, and robust agreement here in Paris.
Occurrences of natural disaster due to extreme weather conditions such as droughts, floods and landslide frequently deprive lives and livelihoods of the people in Sri Lanka. We consider that transfer of technology to developing countries will ensure that people will be able to address the need of adaptation and nationally suitable mitigation actions. On the domestic front, I am glad to declare that Sri Lanka has launched several climate-smart initiatives.
Speaking at the summit, US President Barack Obama and Chinese President Xi Jinping pledged to work together for a climate change agreement.
The two largest economies in the world and the two largest carbon emitters. We have both determined that it is our responsibility to take action, and I think once again show the world that there's far more that the United States and China have in common than separates us, and that when we work together, good things happen.
A total of 25,000 official delegates hope to secure a legally binding accord for every country to cut carbon emissions. Most of the discussions are expected to center on an agreement to limit global warming to 2 degrees Celsius. Assessments of more than 180 national plans that have been submitted by countries suggest that if they were implemented, the world would see a rise of nearer to 3 degrees Celsius. Security has been ramped up in Le Bourget, the venue of the monumental United Nations climate change talk. There was also a few minor demonstrations outside the conference centre as protesters descended against the use of fossil fuel. The protests come after hundreds of thousands of people from Australia to Paraguay joined the biggest day of climate change activism in history yesterday, telling world leaders there was quote-unquote no planet B in the fight against global warming.
The purpose of this climate summit is to place action before words. Heads of state from across the world will present their views and exchange ideas here. Sri Lanka's President Maithripala Sirisena also addressed the summit today. He pointed out that everyone has been vested with the responsibility to take action and conserve the environment instead of simply talking about it.
Meanwhile, President Maithripala Sirisena met with the Sri Lankan community in France yesterday.
I must very clearly state that I, as the Minister of Defence and as the custodian of the Tri-Forces, have a clear understanding, ache and keenness on the country, its national security and future more than anyone of those who criticise me. I would never compromise the national security of the country under any circumstance. Our critics can criticise all they want, but the sole responsibility of that matter lies in our hands, and we are doing whatever it takes to safeguard it. The main issue we had was that we did not have international assistance, but now as a government we have succeeded in winning the support of the international community, and my constant commitment to gain more international support is with the intention of strengthening our national security and our security forces. I assure you that, like the commitment I made on the 8th of January, I will dedicate my life to build your motherland, Sri Lanka, as a superior and glorious nation.